Hey, little heads up. This video starts with a little update on the current state of my channel, so if you're not interested in that, jump to the following timestamp shown on the screen. Thanks a lot. You know, it's been a long while since my last upload, and I've been actually having a lot of uncertainty on whether or not to post this video, partially because I probably won't go back to regularly uploading videos, as well as the fact that this is kind of a controversial opinion I'm going to be discussing here, but what can I say? It's been 2 years since I did my last Sonic video, and in that time I've been reflecting a lot about my opinions and positions in the series, and evidently some of my positions have changed as well as become more of my own rather than being so heavily influenced by other people's experiences with games. That's not to say that my old videos are bad, but the problem I have with them nowadays is how some of them took lots of opinions from other content creators that I admired at the time and implemented them into my own, which, while there's nothing wrong with that in part, it kind of frustrates me because I have my own opinions and views on this series, and while my opinions are influenced by other people, my current ideas are some that I feel like I genuinely took my personal experience into account. That being said, the fact that this is mostly an opinion-based video doesn't mean that you can't disagree with me on the topic on hand. Neither am I trying to say that you're wrong for disliking what I'm about to discuss. Reviewing video games is an explicitly subjective process, mainly because we all play games in different ways, have different tastes, and are just overall different people. And because of that, we also consume and enjoy art in different ways. With all that being said, welcome to Hell itself. Eggmanland from Sonic Unleashed is one of the best final Sonic levels in all of the Sonic series, not only because of its beautiful visuals and music, but also because of its extreme difficulty, which turns this level into one of the most replayable and satisfactory levels to perfect your gameplay, utilizing Sonic's core appeal of replayability and mastery of the levels and physics with a magical way. Every single part of Eggmanland tests something that you learn throughout the game, and it puts heavy trust in you that you know how to do these things without failure. However, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Eggmanland is not an excellent level because of its gameplay alone, but more so a variety of factors that make this level an exceptional end node and one of the best Sonic games ever made. So let's talk about it in detail to analyze in its totality and see why so many people consider this level an exceptional ending to a Sonic game. Eggmanland is visually and sound-wise one of the best levels in Sonic Unleashed, without a doubt. And that's saying a lot considering how beautiful this game is in general. It has this really dystopian, almost cyberpunk feel to it. It's awesome. This level is Eggman's personalized hell, and one of his biggest achievements, an empire built after his shape, something that calls back to Sonic Adventure. And the visuals and music managed to capture that perfectly. The way in which the designers of this game used previous elements from this series and built off them to expand on Sonic's world is genius, and I appreciate it so much. The sky is filled with a storm that prevents any sort of light from going through it. Any sort of nature in this place is completely absent, as the only way you can see it is through the neon-colored lights scattered through the stage and the magma under the floating continent. You can see Eggman's face scattered through the level, giving you a feel that he's watching you every move. The setting is brilliant at letting you know that this place is one of the darkest and most remote places on Earth, full of automation and machinery, and one of the biggest challenges that Sonic Unleashed has to offer. One thing that I particularly like about this level is how it's themed around a theme park, with roller coasters, giant wheels, whatever this thing is, all of them modified to be lethal traps. The carousel has little cups with lava and fire comes out of them that can damage the player. The roller coaster abruptly ends and leads into a section that replicates the sled from Coolidge, this time now with lasers, robots, and spikes all over. And while this one isn't a trap per se, the giant wheel has Eggman's face plastered on with neon colors and a defiant face. The aesthetic of Eggmanland and how he plastered himself all over is fantastic because it fits his character extremely well. The way that he reveres and celebrates himself as this established genius, not only does it show how egotistical and self-centered he is, but also gives us a tiny glimpse at how a world ruled over by his tyrannic power would look like. Almost like a certain other game, but well executed. The music of Eggmanland is not only on par with the visuals, but it also complements them in a masterful way. Seeing how the level was very intentionally designed to perfectly fit the character that is Eggman, maybe having a theme like I Am the Eggman or his theme for it from SA1 would have complemented the level well too. But honestly, the fact that they decided to make a brand new theme is something I really appreciate, and actually I'm happy that they went down that path because the music of this level is exceptionally good, and the way that they use it to complement the main mechanic of the level is phenomenal. The music of the day starts slow, with a synthesizer, only to moments after start picking up speed until it goes faster than anything the game has made you listen to before. It genuinely fits the level so well as you flash at blitzing speeds through enemy territory to desperately reach the last Gaia temple and restore the last continent. Phew! I have to take a breather after that. The night music of this level is an adaptation of the day music. This is mainly due to the fact that Eggmanland, instead of being separated into a day and night stage, is actually a huge Act 1 that alternates between day and night gameplay. While one would think that the day music being as fast as it is would be really hard to remix into a slower, more meticulous night music, it actually works out very well, as it fits really well with the platforming and small and precise movement related to the werehog. I personally really like the way that it fits with the boiler room, a room filled with lava under you that heats up lots of pipes and is possibly the source from where Eggman gets so much energy for his machines, aside from of course Dark Gaia. It's fantastic getting to see how well designed this room is, because it genuinely feels like you're in a boiler room and not just in a platforming stage with lots of pipes and stuff, which also opens up the level for multiple paths inside of these little rooms. It feels as if the boiler room is a working part of Eggmanland, and just like the music, that feeling contributes to the idea of you sneaking into Eggman's base slow and steady. Eggmanland, as established previously, is a pretty demanding level on the player's end. Not only for being one of the most long levels in a Sonic game, as well as being one of the hardest in the franchise, but also because it puts into test everything you've learned through your adventure, with some things taking more priority over others. In fact, you could argue that Eggmanland, just as a continent in the game, puts every skill you learn to the test. You even have to do an active tornado defense in order to get to Eggmanland, which is something you do at the start of the game. The daytime sections of the level test every ability you've learned so far and expect that you can use them with precision, with precise wall jumps in between hazards to get to nearby shortcuts, or using your moveset creatively to reach certain parts of the level. One of Eggmanland's most used aspects in the daytime sections has to be the quick time events, and in this level in particular they are brutal. expecting rapid precision to input the buttons on screen. Thankfully, if you're not particularly good at these, you can pause after they appear on screen to see what buttons you will need to press. But it's still so satisfying to get a whole sequence of buttons without pausing. The first ramp in the level has you inputting a sequence of 5 buttons, which is more than the standard 3 you're used to seeing by this point in the game, and sets the precedent for the rest of the QTEs in the level, as most of them go by really fast and some can even lead to death if failed. There's also little shortcuts and lives that some of these give you. On top of those mechanics having a lot of influence throughout the level, there's also other stage-specific mechanics that return for Eggmanland, like the sled from Coolidge mentioned previously, or the skydiving seen in Rooftop Run and partially in Chunan. All of these giving some slight modifications that I really like. This sled from Coolidge adapted to the roller coaster, dodging robots and spikes while also going even faster than the original appearance of the sled. Skydiving now has you dodging lasers, and unlike in Rooftop Run where you could cheese it by going slowly through the sides, now you have to maneuver around well or else you take a hit. Thankfully, the way that rings work in this game makes it so you can get hit a couple of times in that section and even still get an S rank. The Warthog sections also bring back mechanics seen through the course of the game, and it even adds and modifies some too. Swingy poles, buckets with lava and then that you can grab to the side of and move with what seems to be a conveyor belt. The carousel mentioned previously in the battle arena with the robots is a completely new hazard made for this level. Another gimmick that comes back for this level, which I really like how they implemented, is the sliding from the night stages in Coolidge, which has now been adapted to make it look like you're sneaking through the ventilation of the place. How much more cool can this level get? Tightropes seen in Empire City also see a comeback in this level, but unlike the ones in Empire City, you don't take damage for going too much to the side, as those have spikes and these ones have slanted borders, so you just fall without getting hit. I honestly much prefer how they are designed in Eggmanland, what can I say? Empire City has a bunch of 90-degree turns you have to take on top of these things with spikes, which makes it a pain in the ass to move. In Eggmanland, not only can you get closer to the border without being scared, the turns are also more gradual, making it much more easy and less frustrating to do. The combat on Eggmanland, while not as essential as the combat on a level like Arid Sands Night, is still just as fun as the rest of the game, and you can even skip most instances where the combat is present, making the level pretty fun to speedrun. That being said, in regards to combat, the last few rooms of the level are especially great. You go through 3 rooms with 3 titans distributed between 2 of them, making it so you go through a room with a group of regular enemies, a room with a titan and some support for it, and the final room, which consists of 2 titans that you have to fight at once in order for the goal ring to appear. I love how the game trusts that you know at this point how to deal with these monsters, and being able to absolutely decimate them as fast as possible while using the unleash bar as well as smart dodging where required makes the ending to this level extremely engaging. The feeling of killing 3 titans in a row in a fast fashion is amazing and really fun. The game still gives you the option to grab a full health restore or a full unleash bar from the borders of the battle arena, or before getting into the rooms in case you accidentally die and restart from the last checkpoint. On the topic of shortcuts, Eggmanland is filled to the brim with them. Some involve the usage of glitches, but honestly you still have a good amount of shortcuts at your disposal, even without them. Some may in fact be pretty intentionally made by the devs, and they vary a lot in how much they skip as well as their difficulty. There's also, of course, the thing with the level having multiple paths at some points, and the Warthog's varied moveset allowing for mini skips of some sort. You know, everything talked about the level at this point, from the soundtrack to the gameplay and the difficulty, might not be for everyone. But honestly, I can't help but love what this level was trying to set out to do. Showing us a dystopia and letting us see how a world ruled by Eggman would be like. The level itself, while pretty long and hard, is honestly extremely fun to go back to and repeat playthroughs. Just entering the stage and going for a nest is extremely fun, and doing all the hot dog missions felt extremely satisfying, especially after beating the entire level without dying. Dominating this level to that point is extremely fun, and personally, at the very least, I would love for the next Sonic game to have a final level like every game prior to Colors, because again, for me personally, Eggmanland did that perfectly. Alright, that's all for today, folks. With that, it's mission complete. Congratulations!